So today's video was sponsored by Cookie Gamer, and they are giving away a free wireless gaming mouse in 2 different colors, and alongside that, earbuds in loads of different colors. The link is in the description below because it's for free. Now this is absolutely insane, and especially with the gaming mouse, it has advanced movements and a very reliable wireless connection. It is for that smooth and precise tracking. So if you like free stuff, which we all do, visit the link down in the description below. What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So of course, before we kick this one off, if you guys are wondering why do I sound a little bit different, it's because I have a cold. So that's why I may sound different in the next couple of videos, or why I was sounding different in the previous videos, because it was an upcoming cold, and yeah, you get the story. Alright, so to begin with, we have some very cool stuff to talk about, and first and foremost, something which is just absolutely amazing, which I saw on Reddit, and it was something I was looking for, and that is a change in THOR's character model between E3 and New York's Comic-Con. Now, just take a look at this. This was posted on Reddit by a user who goes by the name A Silent Remedy, and the craziest thing about this is just let it sink in that E3 was literally a couple of months ago, and now here we are in New York's Comic-Con. I mean, the character difference, the way they have just gone ahead and polished this up from the suit, and especially THOR's face to everything in terms of appearance. This is just absolutely insane, and I can't definitely wait to see an actual gameplay comparison. But I want you guys to get in the comment section below. This was only a couple of months and they took everyone's criticism this serious. Then I cannot wait to the finished product, because what we are seeing right here is something you would probably see, you know, a company, I guess, literally go ahead and do and reveal right when the game's released. So just take this into consideration, the difference and how insanely detailed it has now become. Now, moving on to the next thing, which is very interesting. Again, we got new gameplay. Kamala Khan, and it's a really, you know, good thing, because the gameplay we saw especially showed the daytime, and you know, it's a lot of things that people were kind of hoping to see and expecting, although it wasn't exactly the character we assumed was going to be revealed at this event. But there was a little description at New York's Comic-Con, and I'll let you guys pause the screen here and more or less read it for yourselves. But again, it was posted by a user who goes by the name Tom on Reddit, that basically does go ahead and confirm the existence of course, Captain Marvel. Now, this is something we have all kind of been hanging on to, this myth. Is he alive? Which obviously he has to be, but what really goes on? This kind of gives you like a little sum story, I guess, like a little sum up, if you will. I don't know, you name that, okay? But it literally is a little brief, and it answers all the questions that you kind of want to know the answers to. Now, the next thing that gets a lot more interesting is about the campaign. Now, this again was posted by the fan account over on Twitter, and they said Marvel's Avengers is said to have around 10 to 12 hour campaign, around 30 hours including side missions and extra quests. More hours will probably rack up as the team behind the game has said that the game's story content will be updated after launch. Now again, this kind of picked up a lot of discussion. A lot of people were saying, well, that's actually, you know, like how the Arkham games basically go in terms of the story, and then a lot of people were saying this is a great thing because it just goes to show that all the side quests and stuff, you know, of course you're going to have the online side of side quests, and then you're going to have stuff that tie into the game, then you're going to have your DLCs, and there's going to be a whole lot of things implemented into the game, because it's very important to take into consideration that they have basically said 100% confirmed actually that this game is a game we're going to be playing for such a long time, and you can't just drop a game like this, of course, and you don't add to it. So it's going to be a game that is consistently going to be updated 24/7, I reckon, and when new films come out, they're probably going to try and implement new characters around the Marvel films. Right now, of course, the main character we all want to see is Spider-Man. I think that is just going to fire up the hype, definitely. The hype's just going to be fired up. I mean, there's nothing else to really say about that, especially with the re-announcement as well, that Spider-Man is still around. There is literally a ton of things that I know they're going to be holding on to more or less closer to the release date to then drop, because it's going to spike up the game a huge amount. Again, going on how Spider-Man PS4 was as well. Now, the second to last thing, or more or less the last thing I wanted to discuss, was the 8-day demo. Now, I know we have literally seen this thousands of times, more or less, and we've had people kind of give their opinions and, you know, their review of it and so forth, but what we haven't had exactly is an Ask Me Anything type of thing. Now, a guy who goes by the name Matt, Spider-Matt to be specific, 311 over in the Mythical Lands of Reddit, actually played the game and pointed out some very, very detailed stuff that I guess are the things that wouldn't have been pointed out in, you know, the reviews of the officials playing the game, etc. So I will link the full post in the description below because there are loads of questions that he does go and answer, which is absolutely great to see because not a lot of people would do that. And of course, for all of us that weren't able to attend this event purely because you weren't able to go to it, or purely because, you know, you live so far away, whatever the reason may have been, it's great that someone like this is willing to share all the details. So I thought I would just take two of them, which kind of grabbed my attention straight away. And the first one is, as you see on screen, how do combos work? Are there specific button inputs, or is it more movement based, brackets like Spider-Man PS4? Now, he come back by saying there was no menu to check combos, but I did notice that specific moves in a row did some special stuff. One thing I noticed that was similar to Spider-Man PS4 was being able to do finishing moves sometimes with circle plus triangle. And again, I reckon it's going to be very similar, talking about Spider-Man PS4 again, when you upgrade things, maybe the suit, whatever it may be, the powers, all of that will just vary throughout the game, and I reckon they may just go ahead and implement new things in updates. Again, we had that in Spider-Man PS4, and it was a great thing to see. Now, the next thing was definitely a question that I wasn't looking for, but something I was very curious about because I purely feel it's something hard to pull off. And the question was, does flying as Iron Man feel like it's on rails? Now, of course, when you hear that question, you know what I mean by feeling like it's on rails, meaning, is it almost like a 2D game? Are you really, really stiff and you know there's no way you can screw up a direction, like you are only going in one direction, and it gets really, you know, boring, and there's not really that free camera mode and stuff like that, because that definitely, at least for me as a, you know, a player, definitely is not fun. I do not like that stuff, nor would I want a game like this to have that, because it would just knock it off completely. But he came back with something great, and he said, not at all. When my dad was playing, before I stepped in to help him, he kept flying off the bridge and failing the mission. You really do control where you go. Now, again, this kind of is something that I've been thinking about, and that is the ragdoll effects in the game. And I feel ragdoll effects, you know, in any game are very, very important, especially when it comes down to combat games. And from what we've seen, you know, in the ragdoll effects and, you know, I guess how the physics are as a whole, really, it looks very, very similar to a Batman Arkham game. I mean, the combat feels very, very stern, and again, this is coming from someone who hasn't played the game, just me visually seeing it and giving my honest opinion. It looks very stern, it looks very tough and very solid, and you feel like there's going to be a lot of brutality, again, when it comes down to like slamming people down on the ground, whether you're Hulk or, of course, you're Thor, literally throwing your hammer. I reckon you're going to be able to feel that power within your control, and that's a really, really good thing. But when it comes down to, again, being someone as powerful and someone who has a specific move like Hulk, where you are able to pick up, you know, other, I guess, enemies or NPCs, whatever it may be, you want to be able to have that fun kind of like, I guess, GTA effect where they feel very much lifelike. You want to be able to pick them up, and you got that ragdoll effect when you throw them. Again, when it's an enemy and you chuck him against another enemy. I think stuff like that does make gameplay a whole lot more fun. But again, when it comes down to playing as Iron Man, I think a ragdoll effect would be great, because if you're Iron Man, and in this case he's using the bridge as an example, what would be very challenging is if you are flying at a very, you know, fast speed, and I'm sure because the game's going to be released on PC, there's going to be mods that make Iron Man go an insane amount of speed. But for us console players as well, I reckon if you're going at a high speed, which again I feel like will be an upgradable the more you play into the game, if you're going through something like the bridge or whatever it may be, like a tunnel or something that has a kind of tight gap, and you knock yourself on like the wall or the little rail, I want there to be that effect where you kind of you get knocked off, but you don't go straight down to the ground like there's no way of saving yourself, but instead the screen, you know, like the rotation might go a bit funny, and there is a way for you to levitate yourself back up before hitting the ground. Again, just a little idea, but small details like this for me go a very long way. But guys, that is going to wrap up this video. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below, of course, on the things that have happened over the last couple of days. Are you excited for the game? Are you happy with the improvements? Let me know down below. But that is going to wrap up this video. As always, have yourselves a ridiculously amazing day, and until the next one, adios amigos.